Chioma sat on the edge of her bed, her knees pulled to her chest, arms wrapped tightly around her. She could still hear the laughter echoing in her mind, the laughter of her twin sister, Chizoba, their mother, and nearly everyone in the neighborhood. Just a few days ago, life had already been difficult, but now it was unbearable. It all started with a TikTok video that Chizoba had posted. Chizoba had always been the confident one, the curvy, outspoken, and admired twin. Their mother often referred to her as the real daughter of the house, while Chioma was constantly reminded of how her body looked like it belonged to a different family entirely. The jokes were never ending, but nothing had ever humiliated her as much as the video. In the clip, Chizoba stood in front of the camera, pretending to be Chioma, wrapping a wrapper around her chest and making exaggerated movements, poking fun at her slim frame. "Ladies and gentlemen," she had said in a mocking tone, "meet my twin sister, Broomstick the First." Laughter had erupted in the background. Her mother's voice, her cousins, and some friends who had gathered at their house that day. Then, Chizoba had stepped aside and another girl walked in, curvier, pretending to be herself. "This is what a real woman looks like," Chizoba had continued, winking at the camera. The video had gone viral overnight. Chioma could not count how many times she had seen her name in the comment section. Trending on social media platforms, the comments were worse than the video itself. "This girl should eat something. How can someone be this dry? Is she sick? She looks like a skeleton walking. Are we sure they are really twins? How did only one of them get all the beauty?" She had deactivated her account, but it was too late. Everyone in the neighborhood had already seen it. The next morning, stepping out of the house felt like walking into a battlefield. Chioma had wrapped a scarf around her face, hoping to move unnoticed, but the whispers and giggles still reached her ears. "See her, the mosquito has come out." The shame burned her from the inside out. The most painful part was that her mother and Chizoba found it funny. When she returned home, she had expected some comfort from her mother, a bit of kindness at least, but instead, her mother had laughed along with Chizoba. "You better eat more, Chioma," her mother had said, "or else one day, a strong breeze will just blow you away." Tears had welled up in Chioma's eyes, but she swallowed them down, knowing that crying in front of them would only make things worse. She had always thought family was meant to protect each other, but hers seemed to be the force to throw her to the wolves. The worst part was mealtime. No matter how much she ate, she remained the same, and her mother never let her forget it. "I don't know where all the food you eat goes, Chioma. Are you feeding spirits?" Chizoba would laugh, leaning in to poke Chioma's arms. "Maybe she's using it to fatten her bones, oh." The words cut deeper than any knife. Chioma wished she could just disappear. She wished she could be someone else. And so, she did the only thing she could think of. She began researching ways to gain weight. The screen of Chioma's small phone cast a soft glow on her face as she scrolled through endless articles and videos. She had spent the past few nights searching for ways to gain weight, anything that could make her look like her sister, anything that could stop the laughter. She tried everything. She followed countless YouTube videos, watching women with fuller bodies share their secrets to gaining weight. She wrote down long lists of recommended meals, determined to transform herself. Her first approach was food. She ate more than ever before, consuming everything the internet suggested: granules and banana smoothies. She drank them morning and night. She fried plantain and eggs, a daily meal now. She took bread with thick spreads of butter and mayonnaise. She forced herself to eat it even when it felt heavy in her stomach. Milk and full-fat yogurt. She drank cartons of it. She ate until she felt sick. She ate even when she wasn't hungry. And yet, nothing changed. Days passed, then weeks. Each time she looked in the mirror, she saw the same skinny girl staring back at her, One evening, while she was sitting outside their compound, a man from the neighborhood stopped her. He had overheard some women joking about her struggles with gaining weight. "Chioma," he called, "you want to gain weight, Abi?" She hesitated but nodded. The man laughed. "Ha! Back then, some people used one special medicine to get fat fast though. It worked like magic." Chioma's heartbeat quickened. "Really?" "Yes. I heard some women used it, and in just a few weeks, boom, curves everywhere." Chioma's stomach twisted. "Where can I get it, sir?" The old man laughed. "Ah, my dear, I don't know. It's been long since I heard of it, but if you search well, you might find it." That was all the encouragement Chioma needed. Desperation set in, and for the next few days, she went from pharmacy to pharmacy, describing the fat-gaining medicine to the attendants. Some shook their heads, saying they had never heard of such. Others gave her a suspicious look, making her feel stupid for even asking. She started feeling hopeless until she had one last idea. If I can't get it in the pharmacy, maybe I will see it online. That night, she searched endlessly, typing in different keywords: weight gain medicine for fast results, drugs for gaining body fat quickly, best medicine for coughs and fullness. After hours of searching, she finally found something. Her breath hitched as she read. The drug was real. It had been used by some people, but it wasn't made for humans. Her hand trembled as she scrolled further. It was a veterinary drug used to fatten chickens and livestock quickly before sale. Her stomach twisted. She kept reading. The side effects were horrifying. Abnormal weight gain leading to obesity, swelling of organs, irreversible liver and kidney damage. Chioma swallowed hard. So this was what she had been searching for? She imagined herself gaining weight overnight, just like she wanted, but at the cost of her health. She quickly shut off her phone. Horrified, she had been so desperate that she almost ruined her own life. That night, she cried silently in bed, knowing that there was no shortcut, no magic. She was stuck with this body, but she wasn't ready to give up yet. Days later, Chioma was forced to go out with her sister to buy food supplies her mother had ordered. She didn't want to go. Walking with Chizoba in public always made her feel worse, but their mother had insisted. So, there they were, carrying heavy bags of rice and vegetables through the noisy marketplace. Chioma kept her eyes down, trying to avoid attention, but attention found her anyway. A group of teenage girls standing by a stall noticed them. One of them let out a loud laugh. See Broomstick and Beauty Queen walking together." The other girls bursted into laughter. Chioma's body stiffened. She tried to act like she didn't hear them, but the laughter burned into her skin like fire. Then, to her utter shock, Chizoba laughed too. She didn't even try to defend her. Instead, she moved away from Chioma as if they weren't together. One of the girls smirked, turning to Chizoba. "If you like, move 1,000 miles away. You are still her sister. You share the same blood. So it runs in the blood, full, sister to a skeleton." Chizoba felt so bad. She felt like the ground should open up and swallow her. While Chioma's heart shattered into a million pieces, tears welled up in her eyes. She couldn't do this. She couldn't stay there another second. Without saying a word, she adjusted the heavy bags she was carrying and stormed off. She didn't wait for Chizoba. She didn't care what anyone thought. She just wanted to go home. When Chizoba arrived home a few minutes later, she was fuming. She slammed the supplies on the floor, glaring at Chioma. "Are you stupid? How dare you leave me to carry everything alone?" Chioma, still recovering from the humiliation, looked up at her in disbelief. "You left me first, Chizoba. You moved away when they were laughing at me, like you were ashamed of me." Chizoba scoffed, flipping her braid over her shoulder. "And so what? Must I suffer with you? Every time we walk together, people stare at you like you are a walking stick. It's embarrassing. I don't even know how we are twins." Chioma clenched her fist. But we are twins. Whether you like it or not, we share the same blood." Chizoba rolled her eyes. "Then stop making me look bad. I don't want people thinking I'm related to a skeleton." Chioma had never felt pain like that in her entire life. She turned away from her sister, swallowing the lump in her throat. Her mother walked in at that moment, glanced between the two girls, and sighed. "Chioma, you're still crying? Are you the first person to be skinny? Better eat more and stop looking sick." Oh. Chioma didn't respond. She had no words left. That night, she cried into her pillow, but no amount of tears could change her body. Something had to change. She needed real answers. And so, the next morning, she made a decision. She was going to the hospital. The hospital waiting room smelled of antiseptic and fresh linen. Chioma sat stiffly in the chair, her fingers gripping the hem of her blouse as she waited for the doctor to call her in. She had spent the entire night thinking, if eating more wasn't working, if all the weight gain foods she had tried didn't change anything, maybe something was wrong with her, and she needed to know what it was. A nurse in a blue uniform finally stepped out from the hallway and called her name, "Miss Chioma Okafor." Chioma stood quickly, her heart pounding. She followed the nurse into the doctor's office, her hands damp with sweat. The doctor, a middle-aged man with kind eyes and glasses, gestured for her to sit down. "What brings you here today?" Chioma hesitated, then swallowed her fear. I think something is wrong with my body." The doctor raised an eyebrow. "Go on, please." She exhaled shakily. "No matter how much I eat, I don't gain weight. My mother and sister always say I look sick and people laugh at me all the time." Her voice cracked. "I just want to know why I'm like this." The doctor gave her a long, thoughtful look before he nodded. "All right, we'll run some tests." After a physical examination and some tests, the results were finally in. Chioma sat in front of the doctor, her heart racing as she awaited the verdict. The doctor adjusted his glasses. "Chioma, you have a high metabolic rate and an ectomorphic body type. This means your body burns calories much faster than the average person, making it difficult for you to gain weight." Chioma frowned. "So, that's why I'm like this?" The doctor nodded. "Yes, your body is naturally built to be slim. And even if you eat a lot, your metabolism is so fast that it processes food quickly without storing much fat." Chioma swallowed. "So there's nothing I can do?" The doctor smiled gently. "Not exactly. There are ways to increase muscle mass and improve your body structure. We'll put you on a high protein, high carb diet, along with strength training to build some body mass. You won't become fat overnight, but you will look healthier." Chioma nodded slowly, digesting the information. "So, I am not sick?" "No," the doctor reassured her. "You're just naturally built this way. But with the right approach, you can get a size where you feel comfortable." Following the doctor's advice, Chioma began her new routine. She ate nutrient-dense foods in large portions, ensuring she followed a balanced plan. Proteins like eggs, fish, chicken, and beans to help with muscle growth, healthy carbs like yam, potatoes, and rice to provide more calories, smoothies and milkshakes enriched with peanut butter and bananas, exercise to build toned muscles instead of fat. For the first time, Chioma wasn't just eating aimlessly. She had a plan. Weeks passed. She didn't become curvy like Chizoba, but she wasn't as frail as before. She felt stronger. She felt better, but the mockery didn't stop. Despite the changes, people still laughed at her. So you added only small flesh after all that struggle?" Chizoba mocked one evening, laughing loudly. "Maybe you should just eat cement next time." Chioma clenched her fist. The old her would have cried, but this time she lifted her chin and smiled. She had finally understood something. It wasn't her that needed to change. It was society's definition of beauty that was the problem. And one day, she was going to prove them all wrong. Some weeks later, in a crowded marketplace, the air was thick with the scent of roasted corn, fresh tomatoes, and dried fish. Chioma adjusted the shopping bag in her arms, carefully balancing the food items her mother had sent her to buy. She had gotten used to walking alone. Even though she and Chizoba were twins, they no longer moved together. Chizoba always found an excuse to avoid being seen with her. Chioma sighed. It didn't even hurt her anymore. She was walking past a shop that sold fabric when she heard a voice behind her. "Excuse me, young lady." Chioma paused and turned around. A tall man, well dressed in a crepe shirt and jeans, stood before her. He had a confident smile and held a small notepad in one hand. She blinked. "Yes? How may I help you?" The man studied her with a glint of admiration in his eyes. "I know this might sound strange, but have you ever thought of being a model?" Chioma let out a small laugh before she could stop herself. "A model?" The man nodded. "Yes, my name is Tolu. I'm a talent scout for a fashion agency, and I couldn't help but notice your physique." Chioma's stomach twisted. Was this some kind of joke? "Sorry, sir, but I think you are mistaken," she said, shaking her head. "I'm not the type of girl that's—" Tolu cut her off with a raised hand. "I know what you're about to say. You don't think you look like a model, right?" Chioma hesitated. "Well, yes." Tolu smiled. "That's the problem with this country. Everyone thinks a model must look a certain way. But the world is changing. Tall, slim, striking features. You are exactly what the industry is looking for." Chioma frowned, still unconvinced. All her life, people had mocked her body. And now, this man was standing here telling her that this same body was valuable? It didn't make sense. "Look," Tolu continued, sensing her hesitation, "I understand if you don't believe me, but I work with real professionals. If you don't believe me, come by our agency for a trial shoot. No pressure. Just think about it." He handed her a small business card. Chioma stared at it. It looked real. But what if this was just another way for someone to embarrass her? She clutched the card in her hands and quickly walked away. She wasn't going to fall for it. For days, Chioma tried to forget about the encounter, but she couldn't. The words kept ringing in her head. You are exactly what the industry is looking for. The world is changing. Could it be true? Was there really a place where her body was celebrated rather than being mocked? Finally, after 2 weeks of battling with herself, she decided to take a chance. She showed up at the address on the card, and that was the beginning of everything. When she arrived at the agency, she expected them to laugh at her, but they didn't. Instead, she was welcomed warmly. She was taken into a studio, given a simple outfit, and asked to pose for the camera. At first, she was awkward, unsure of herself, but as the photographer gave her instructions, something shifted. She relaxed, she moved, and for the first time, she felt beautiful. Tolu watched from the sidelines, smiling. "She's a natural," he whispered to his colleague. And just like that, Chioma's journey into the fashion world began. Chioma stood in front of the mirror, staring at her reflection. This wasn't the same girl who used to hide in her room, clutching a pillow and crying herself to sleep. Her face was still the same, her body still slender, but there was something different, a glow, a confidence she had never seen in herself before. She had just returned from a runway show in Lagos, working for a big-name designer. The applause still echoed in her ears. The flashing light still burned in her memory. She had made it. Chioma's journey in the fashion industry took off faster than she ever imagined. Her unique lean frame, the same one people had mocked, was now celebrated. Top fashion designers loved her high cheekbones, long legs, and graceful poise. She signed with a major modeling agency, started appearing in magazines, and even got offers to work with international brands. The same girl in her neighborhood who once mocked her now whispered in admiration when she passed. "See how she's beautiful. Who would have thought?" I swear, she's even looking more elegant than her sister. But not everyone was happy. Chizoba watched in silence as her sister's success skyrocketed. At first, she had laughed it off, thinking it was a temporary phase. But now, Chioma was everywhere. She was featured in TV interviews. She was posing in luxury clothes, smiling for cameras, traveling to new cities. And Chizoba, she was still at home, still living in the same world where she had once been the one admired. The shift in attention burned her like fire. The mother, too, had changed. She no longer mocked Chioma like before. Instead, she bragged to anyone who cared to listen. My daughter is now an international model. Have you seen her recent shoot? That's my blood. Chizoba clenched her fist. What about her? Had everyone forgotten that she was once the one being praised? Out of anger and jealousy, Chizoba did something reckless. She went on social media and posted a long emotional rant. Fame and money really change people. My sister has forgotten where she came from. She now acts like she doesn't have a family. Some people will do anything for fame, even abandon their own blood. The post went viral. People started dragging Chioma in the comments. Wow, so she abandoned her family after making it? Fame can turn people into monsters. This is why you should never forget your roots. Chioma sat in her hotel room, staring at her phone. The betrayer stung, not because of the strangers online, but because of who had written the post. Her own twin sister, the same person who had mocked her, the same person who had left her alone to be humiliated. And now, when she was finally finding happiness, Chizoba was trying to ruin it. For the first time in years, she cried, not because she was weak, but because she had finally accepted the truth. Her family would never change. The next morning, Juliet, one of Chioma's closest friends in the modeling industry, noticed her puffy eyes. "Chioma, what's wrong?" she asked, concerned. Chioma hesitated, then told her everything. The jealousy, the betrayal, the pain. Juliet listened patiently before sighing. "Chioma, let me tell you something," she said. "You can never please everyone. No matter what you do, there will always be people, sometimes even family, who will try to bring you down. But you know what? That's their burden to carry, not yours." Chioma wiped her tears as Juliet continued speaking, her voice steady and filled with wisdom. "You have worked so hard to get here, Chioma. You did this on your own. You didn't step on anyone to rise. You didn't steal or betray anyone. So why should you feel guilty for your success?" Chioma swallowed hard, thinking about Juliet's words. "But it's my own sister, Juliet," she said, her voice breaking. "My own blood. How can she hate me this much?" Juliet sighed. Sometimes, the people closest to us are the ones who hurt us the most because they feel entitled to our lives, our success, our time. And when they don't get it the way they want, they turn against us. Chioma looked down, her fingers playing with the hem of her dress. "I just wish things were different. I just wish I came from a loving family," she muttered. Juliet reached for her hand. "You can't change your family, Chioma, but you can choose how you let them affect you. Don't let their bitterness steal your happiness. Keep moving forward." Chioma took a deep breath. Juliet was right. She had spent too much of her life seeking validation from people who never truly loved or supported her. It was time to let go. That night, Chioma made a decision. She picked up her phone, went to Chizoba's post, and stared at the hateful comments. For a moment, she thought of defending herself, explaining everything, telling the world what she had endured growing up. But then, she sighed and logged out. She wouldn't give them the satisfaction of seeing her break. Instead, she went to her notes app and typed something for herself. "You are worthy. You are enough. You deserve this success. No one will take it from you." And just like that, she chose peace. She chose herself. Of course, Chizoba didn't stop. She kept making posts, kept looking for ways to drag her sister. But the more she did, the more people saw through her jealousy. Chioma, on the other hand, didn't engage. She stayed focused on her career, kept working hard, and kept rising. With time, the noise died down. People moved on, and so did Chioma. She had finally broken free from the shadows of her past, and nothing, not even her twin sister's bitterness, could stop her from shining. Chioma's story became an inspiration. She proved to the world that beauty is diverse, that strength is not how you look, but in how you carry yourself. She learned that family isn't always who you are born with, but the people who truly love and support you. And most importantly, she learned that the best way to win against hate is to simply keep shining. No need to fight, no need to prove anything. Just shine. And that's exactly what Chioma did. She shined brighter than ever. Do you like this video? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for always watching. If you like this, you will love the next one. Click to watch it now. Goodbye.